What is the 90 and 90 and when should you use it? Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Road to Recovery, and today I'm going to be talking about the 90 and 90. What is the 90 and 90 and why should you even use it? Well, let's take a step back and let me discuss what would be a typical candidate for the 90 and 90. The 90-90 means 90 meetings in 90 days, and this is what we would call a 12-step tactic. In other words, that the typical person that we're talking about would be attending 12-step recovery rooms. And the person I would say that qualifies the most for being in the 90 and 90 is the type of person who the addiction has so overcome them that they're having a hard time being able to even function, let alone get through the day-to-day hassle of life. These people are so bad off that they've usually hit rock bottom, perhaps even several times. And they're the type of person who the addiction, there seems to be no way to put a wedge in between the time of experiencing a triggering mechanism to the time that they act out. It seems to happen almost instantaneously. And the presence of them being inside of a meeting, while it might be useful for that given day and time, they might be able to maintain sobriety for a day or two. They can't maintain it for longer. It seems to fade away. So if you could imagine being in their shoes, they might go to a meeting. First day, they're fine. And then the second day, third day, fourth day, all the way 7 days, because it's usually a weekly meeting, right? So let's say they're going to a Tuesday night meeting. If they go to the first Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, they're fine. And then Friday, they hit a trigger and they're maybe white knuckling through the experience. Maybe they get through that trigger, but Saturday comes along and they've already acted out again, right? And they keep repeating that cycle over and over. The purpose of the 90 and 90 is to exercise mindfulness inside of the recovery program. So the problem here that we see that there's this gap between your weeks of a full 6 days from the day that you went to the meeting to 6 days later until you're back in on that meeting itself again. All that time that could elapse that you're not in recovery, you're not being mindful of all the things that you need to do. All the temptations of life keep creeping in, our triggering mechanisms, the emotional escape that we're trying to go through, whatever those things happen to be, all of our delusions start creeping back into reality. And so the powerful message that you may have received in that first meeting has just been lost. Oftentimes, the people who come into the meetings, they're new to everything. They don't know what the 12 steps are. They don't know how to work recovery. They hear some of the messages, but they don't have the practice and the discipline to be able to execute some of the things. They haven't started working through on the worksheets for the 12 steps yet. None of these things have actually happened. And even if they are working in some of those areas, they still might find the temptations overwhelming. When you're doing a 90 and 90, every single day is being occupied by a meeting. And so during this time, you're constantly hearing the 12 steps. You're constantly hearing people talking. You're constantly being exposed to program. Oftentimes, the people I'm working with, they cannot afford to go into an in-care patient facility. An in-care patient facility is like where you would just check in for 30 days. You're away from your environment. You're away from all the triggers. And you're just working inside of an organization that is just spoon-feeding you recovery, right? And you get a chance and an opportunity to learn how to control your temptations and know what to do in the event that you're facing troubles, right? And it gives you a support network. Well, what do you do if you can't afford any of that crap, right? A 90 and 90, it's not going to be the perfect fit, but at least you're getting some sort of recovery space every single day. It's an hour every single day. If you think about it, an hour is not that big of a sacrifice, especially if you've got something that's life crippling. Sacrificing an hour is no big deal. How do you execute it? This can be the trouble with working this sort of tactic is that some people think that they have to be physically in a meeting, like you have to be inside of a physical room every single day. We live in the modern day and a modern age, and I think one of the benefits that happened from COVID is that it gave us a lot of availability now for online meeting spaces, meaning regardless of what 12-step organization you're a part of, you can get on right now, at this very moment, and find a meeting someplace, right? In most programs, you can find a meeting right now, someplace in the world. And all you have to do is go look up at their calendar and click on a meeting, and bam, you're in a meeting. Isn't that nice, right? Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Now, I get it. I personally feel that my best recovery time is time where I'm face-to-face with somebody, and I've talked about this before on my channel. But if you're doing a 90 and 90, you don't have to physically be in every single one of those rooms. Attend the virtual ones. It gives you a lot of flexibility. Another thing to think about with 90 and 90, as a sponsor, I've told people that you don't necessarily have to sit into your own program. So if you're in PAA, you don't have to always be in PAA meetings. Go sit on an SLA meeting. Go sit on an SAA meeting. Go sit on an AA meeting, right? Alcoholics Anonymous is the largest step organization in the world. You can at any point find an AA meeting just about anywhere in the country. And they're probably going to be very close to your house. I know you may not be an alcoholic, but you walk in, you identify, you say, I'm an addict, and you leave it at that, and you sit down. And everybody in that room is going to understand, because AA is the grandfather to all 12-step organizations. Lots of people from NA, SAA, all the AAs, right? Every single one of those 12 organizations will refer to going to a AA meeting as part of their 90 and 90. When you get there, you just be quiet. That's all you got to do is be quiet and listen to what's going on. I tell my sponsees that you don't have to form lasting friendships and alliances in anything that's not your home room. So if your home room is a bunch of people that you feel that you have relationships with, that you have an understanding with, you make that the important room, the one that you build your bonds with and your trust in. The other rooms, you can, if you choose to try, bonding with some of the people in the room, but the more important thing is getting acclimated to the 12-step process. What do I have to learn? What do I take away? What is it about the 12 steps that I can learn about in my own day-to-day life? It is literally boot camp for 12-step when you do the 90 and 90. My name is Road to Recovery. I hope you found this information useful. I don't make any money on my channel. This is literally me exercising my 12th step and giving back to the addict who still suffers. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me get the message out. And please stay on that road to recovery. Take care.